We are here with Reverend Don Meeks from Greenwich Presbyterian Church out in, oh wait, where is that?
Nokesville, of all places, but I'm talking to you from Haymarket, Virginia.
Okay, out in Haymarket, Virginia. Don's church is doing some creative and unique things in how they're engaging their congregation. So we're going to talk to Don and hear how it's been going for him and some things that we might all be able to benefit from. So Don, give us a rundown of what you all have been doing to engage as a community, as a congregation in this time of social distancing.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, John, and good to be with everybody in this way. We got kind of tipped off early. We had some folks in our church. It's 3 weeks ago today. We had a couple of folks who had some sense of this thing's really coming and we need to get ready now. We shifted immediately into, okay, how are we going to execute Sunday morning as round one? Just let's get that. And the first decision we made, we are not going to try to do a worship service where it feels like you're in an empty room, because we are going to be in an empty room. We felt it was important to, insofar as it's possible for the Eric Beckman, our associate, and myself, insofar as it's possible for us to be in the sanctuary. We think that's an important piece. We set up in front of the Lord's table, and we kind of compressed the cross and the Bible and the font and the candles. We kind of brought that, and we're sitting there. It's really like a tableside chat, like a fireside chat. Tableside chat is how we have decided to conduct worship. So that's our baseline, kind of using that. And then I started doing a daily pastoral update 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so that Sunday the 15th, I think that Wednesday the 18th, I started doing a daily update. I kind of figured out how to do it, kind of set this as the backdrop. And then the camera, unfortunately, doesn't have the full board. But I just put the date. This is from this morning's update. I put the date. I put out a call for kids art. Hey, kids, just send in a picture of your favorite stuffed animal or toy or something different your family is doing in this time of social distancing. And so they've been scanning it, sending it. And so I just show the kids art. I offer a brief psalm and then some other kind of reflection. And so I wasn't doing C.S. Lewis, 2 weeks ago, but now we've evolved into doing a little bit of a reflection. And then I'll do some announcements or reminders, and then I'll have a brief prayer. So the daily updates are ranging, 12 to 15 minutes. That has been over the top successful. Just, all ages. I'm hearing from church members who've moved, out in Indiana and other places who are saying, man, this is great catching these, because they're catching it through the Facebook page, because we do that. And then I have done a pastor's class, and so teaching on praying the Psalms. And so I've recorded 7 lessons, and I use the whiteboard again. It's a class I've done before, and I've had to adapt it for this format. But I'm just like teaching, just doing the thing. And those lessons have gone from, I think, maybe 18 minutes to like 35 minutes. When I'm done, I'm done, and see you later. And just heard today that somebody who knows some people in Stanton, Virginia, their friends are watching it in Stanton, Virginia, and saying, give us the next one, And then I'm also reading the Chronicles of Narnia. And so we sought permission, publisher's permission, so we secured written permission. So I've just 15 chapters. They're about 20 minutes long, I found out. C.S. Lewis wrote very real tight time frame. And so I've recorded 15 chapters of The Magician's Nephew. And then we're going to do, if the camera can see it, we're going to do a Zoom chat for all just up to like chapter 6. And then call in, and who do you like in the book? What characters do you like? And so those are some we kind of wanted to get early to market, if you could say it that way. Just let's flood with different opportunities so that folks would feel like we're making every effort to be in touch. And then we did our first junior church Zoom call today, and we just notified all the kids that would normally dismiss from worship and go to junior church. Hey, with your mom and dad, go ahead and log in. And we planned for that over the last few days. And so Eric Beckman, our associate, conducted that. Kinks to work out. Kids aren't muting, and so everybody's talking at the same time. It was a little cacophonous, but very much like a junior church. So it felt authentic. And then I'm going to try just a pastoral call-in, just Wednesday night, choir time, just call in if you want, and let's just see and talk and laugh and, let me just hear from folks. So those are the, in 2 short weeks, really 2.5 weeks, we have just tried to get in front of our folks, and then we're watching the metrics through our website. We can track the metrics on how many views, how many clicks, how many finishes. And so we've got a staff meeting, Zoom staff meeting this afternoon, and we're going to kind of break down the analytics on that in terms of, okay, what's working, what do we need, and we're just going to keep trying things. And then we've got folks just calling. We've got a director of congregational care who's just kind of working the phones with our elders and deacons right now. So anyway, there's a lot right at you there.
Yeah, I don't want to put any type of identity around you, but I'm assuming you're not very tech savvy. Would that be a correct assessment?
That would be a very correct assessment, my friend.
So it's obvious you did it, and doing these great, amazing things of connecting with people all the way throughout the week. You didn't bother trying to make this a shareable PowerPoint on the screen. You went to the comfortable thing that right? Where your skills already live, and you have a whiteboard behind you of how you're sharing this information. And the technology then you're engaging with, well, the modern technology you're engaging with is the Zoom and the Vimeo and the video piece, but you're still using the medium that you're comfortable with in terms of how you teach and engage and lead, and not trying to overburden yourself to make it be a PowerPoint and make it be a Google slideshow, and you're just using right here. We see it in the shot, a whiteboard to do this teaching opportunity. I think that's great.
With purple and orange markers, because that's what I grabbed from my office last week.
Yes.
The biblical narrative that sits underneath this. So the biblical way to think about this is David, when he put on Saul's armor, it didn't fit. But what he didn't know was how to take a sling and go grab up 5 little stones, and then he knew how to go out like that way. And so I said, okay, got a laptop, got the camera, had a little problem with my laptop camera, so we just got an external camera. And, maybe took about an hour in my basement to, okay, what's the right backdrop? Got some books so it looks a bit studious or whatever. I'm having a little fun. One person in my church has noticed I'm rotating things back here to see if anybody notices, so I'm playing a little game with folks as well. So that's kind of fun. But this is how I normally teach. I teach with a whiteboard, very stream of consciousness, very, I'm writing things up. And I think that itself has it's been authentic to who we are at Greenwich. We have kind of an aw shucks quality about us. And so the pastors in business casual, we don't wear ties, we're not wearing robes, we're just sitting in front of the Lord's table. We don't stand for the Apostles' Creed, maybe are liturgically incorrect there, but we're doing it. And I think it's had some of the connect factor that folks say, oh, this just feels like us. And so seeing Don at the whiteboard makes, has a connect. So I would encourage folks, if that we're doing it, it's less about the content, though I think the content's thoughtful. It's less about the content, it's more about the contact, is what I think we're finding right now.
So Don, talk briefly as we wrap this conversation up about you're doing a lot, and people can see this and instantly say, well, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to be able to take all of that on. How are you regulating yourself and offering yourself breaks and chances to recharge? How are you able to keep this thing going and keep yourself going?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't drink Red Bull. um, I I think there's probably I'm letting some of the other things. Well, I'm not having a bulletin that we're producing, and there's not regular other kinds of meetings. So there is actually some margin that's available that this time is adding. Um, I would urge the updates. I think would be really important. I think because every pastor could do that without setting up whiteboards and stuff like that. It could just be talk to your laptop, do a snapshot. I know some folks are doing like a weekly pastoral update, which is wonderful, but I think you'd be surprised at how quickly. I was shocked at how quickly the daily update happened. Um, I'm just a nut, So I pray the Psalms, and so I think that keeps me grounded spiritually. And then I just think the kind of being on our. So I'm pacing myself. I got a little tired the end of last week. Thursday night, I just realized, man, I'm tired. I've produced a lot of content in a really short time, and so just took Friday off and just unplugged. But I think I would encourage our siblings in Christ to have opportunities. That this is a unique opportunity to connect. So anything that we do, we can't fail. I don't think because any effort, our parishioners will understand. It's the contact more than the content. But so for pacing, I get up and I go stretch and I play board games with my wife, and then she heads to bed and I come back down and I'm recording some things at 10 o'clock at night because I'm still awake, and it gets done. So I hope that's helpful. But the Zoom meetings, I've benefited from the Zoom meetings and some ideas for Palm Sunday and how we're going to do our parade of palms. Picked up some ideas from those gatherings as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Don. Those of you who are listening and picked up some good ideas on what you might be doing to engage your church. As you can see, it's for the low-tech ones of us, it is very easy to do. This is an encouragement for you to rely on the gifts that you already have on how you lead, and how can you bring those away from your Sunday school classrooms and into your basement offices to be able to continue to do and use the gifts God has given you to lead ministry. So thank you all for tuning in.
Amen.
We will keep up on you and keep you updated on what's happening next.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.